led by seventh-year head coach Ann Bach. They had won 9 of 10 entering today. Their record sitting at 19 wins, 7 losses. Volleyball is led by head coach Andrew Brown, assisted by Rachel Bello and Uni Park. They are 14 wins, 9 losses, and both teams 3-3 in conference play. These two teams both in the upper half of the UAA in hit percentage. Carnegie Mellon third and NYU fourth, right behind Emory and Wash U. However, they also seed two of the lowest opposing hitting percentages in the UAA. Carnegie Mellon second, NYU third. Those are both good for second and third in the UAA, only behind Emory. New York, the best blocking team in the UAA by a wide margin, 2.38%. Carnegie Mellon second, 1.97%. So expect to see a lot of good blocking. In this game, winner will finish 4-3 in conference play. Loser will finish 3-4. Carnegie Mellon in their black jerseys with white numbering and red trim. NYU, white jersey for NYU in purple. Carnegie Mellon's libero is Zoe Gavros. But starting the game to serve will be NYU's Ava Lonsback. We're underway from court number 3. First attack of the game is an immediate kill. And right on the spot for the Carnegie Mellon Tartans is Kate Jown. Kate Jown, junior from Corte Madera, California, getting the Tartans on the board first. But right there, NYU comes back, and now they're on the board with a kill of their own. Off to a fast-paced start. Side out, that will give the serve to Grace Nelson from Pasadena, California. The reception by Katherine Jackson, and the kill! And there again is Kate Jown for her second in as many points for Carnegie Mellon. And she'll get a chance to serve on yet another side out. 2-1 in set number 1 at the Ratner Athletic Center. The reception by Duru Topku and a kill for NYU. We're tied at 2. Chloe Lemons on that one for the Violets. Side out. Now it's Jessica Spierenberg to serve. We're all tied at 2. Team in this. The kill by Kai Hirschberg. And again, that trend continues. 3 Gavros on the serve. Receives by Lemons. Setting up the attack. It's out. Attack by use Chloe Hines. And for the first time in the game, the serve team with the point. By just a hair, Chloe Hines out of play. Service Gavros. Sent it too far. That makes it 4-3. That's another side out. Hines with a chance to serve now. Sophomore from Manhattan Beach, California. Will send it at the libero. Sets up a Tartan attack, but it's deflected nicely by Lemon. She'll get a chance to attack, but that's blocked. And we talked about the top 2 blocking teams in the UAA, and right there on the spot is Elizabeth Schlemmer for Carnegie Mellon. She's getting some high fives on the sidelines. She substitutes out. Melissa Jin in to serve for Carnegie Mellon, who now leads 5-3. Drops it up. They set up Lemons for another attack. Lemons. It's there for Gavros. And the deflection and the kill. Juliana McFarland takes it, and Carnegie Mellon now leads by 3. Jin the serve. The reception by Lemons. They set up an attack, and it's a kill. Coco Barton from Portsmouth, New Hampshire has that kill. NYU gets the side out. We've seen a lot of rotation in these first couple of minutes of action. It's 6-4 Tartans. Sarah Beeville will serve, freshman from Ocala, Florida. Short delay in play. We're having a discussion to the scorers table right now over on the left side of your screen. 6-4 should be the correct score if I'm not counting wrong. All right, play can resume. Sarah Beeville to serve for the Violets. Here we go. The reception by Katherine Jackson. They'll set her up for an attack, and she's got the kill. Perfect placement to get it past the libero, Caitlin Sato. And that's point number 7 for the Tartans. Jackson now with a chance to serve. Duru Topku there to receive, and the attack is blocked. Rejected by Bella Woodard for the Tartans. And they've now opened up a 4-point lead. Timeout on the court. Tartans 8, Violets 4 here in set number 1 of the final set of games here at the UAA Round Robin in Hyde Park, Illinois. Take a short break. Be back soon. All smiles for the Tartans out of the break. They have taken 8 of the first 12 points. 2 blocks already for the Tartans as they... Actually, they're credited with 4 total assisted blocks, 2 total blocks. Their season average was second highest in the UAA in number of blocks per set, just under 2. Katherine Jackson the serve. It'll be a service ace, as that was a shank pass by Grace Nelson, and it's now the Tartans 9 and the Violets 4. First service ace of the day. Katherine Jackson looking sharp early. They'll go right at Nelson again. This time she receives it well and sets up a libero over. Attack on the other side is blocked. Handled there by the Tartans, and it's another kill. Carnegie Mellon dominant early. That time it was Juliana McFarland, making it 10-4 in the Tartans' favor. They keep attacking Grace Nelson after that shank pass off the service ace, but there is a kill for big Sarah Latan. NYU stops the bleeding, gets their 5th point of the game. And Caitlin Sato will serve. Senior from Honolulu, Hawaii. Set up an opposite way attack by Woodard. NYU retaliates Nelson. And that's out. Attack error on McFarland. No, that stays in. I saw the flag get raised, but McFarland got the successful kill. It's now 11-5. So scratch all that. Side out gives Izzy Saffert the chance to serve for the Tartans. Just gets it over the net. And that sets up an attack, but it's blocked right there. An instant kill for Kai Herkenrother. 12-5 Tartans. They set up Herkenrother, but instead it's going to be Woodard on a massive attack, and it's off the hand of a Violet for another kill for the Tartans, and they are rolling early. Another timeout on the field. Tartans 13, Violets 5. They're looking sharp early from Pittsburgh. Scores from around the Ratner Athletic Center. Emory has taken the first set against Wash U, 27-25. Should Emory win, they will be guaranteed at least a share of the UAA conference title. Should Wash U win and Chicago also lose, then the two lost teams will get involved. Case Wash U, Emory, and Chicago would all be tied with two losses at the top of the standings. Of a share of the conference title. Back here on court 3, it's 13-5 in favor of the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, who have been very sharp early, especially in the blocking game. We just saw a solo blocked by Kai Herkenrother. She's there on the unit again, but it gets past Herkenrother herself and gets the kill. And it's now 14-5 in favor of the Tartans as they continue to pile on the points against the NYU Violets. Helena Ford will come on, sophomore from South Pasadena, California, replacing Grace Nelson for the Violets. And here's an attack, and blocked there by Herkenrother. And another active early. And the Tartans are tripling up their adversaries. That gets over the net for an easy service ace by Izzy Safford. Perfectly placed just to bounce off the net and lose all momentum. And this is getting ugly. Safford to serve again. That'll be handled, but not well. Another ace. Sarah Beeville was on the reception, but it was shanked and went out of play. 17-5 is the score in the first set. NYU sideline still pretty loud, trying to galvanize their team back into this one. Clean reception this time. Chance for an attack, but it's deflected. And Carnegie Mellon will come back, and it gets blocked. Jessica Spierenberg maybe was on that block. Gets the deflection back onto the Carnegie Mellon half. And NYU gets their 6th point of the set. Ava Lonsbach will serve as Carnegie Mellon makes a couple substitutions after the side out. NYU needs a whole lot of points if they want to come back in this set. That's not going to do it. Clean reception. They set up an attack, and it's going to be a kill. After the reception error, Bella Woodard had the kill, and it's back to Carnegie Mellon, who looking very, very strong here in this first set. Bella Woodard getting hyped up. Over on the sidelines, the Tartans 7 points away from an opening set win. They set up an attack and another kill. This time it's Schlemmer. Makes it 19-5. Efficient brutality so far from these frontliners for Carnegie Mellon. Everything's been clicking. That goes off the net, but it's handled by Catherine Jackson. They set up another attack for Jean. NYU cleans it up and gets a chance. Goes off the top of the net, but does not land on Carnegie Mellon's side, and the Tartans win the point. 20-6. Tumala serving. An attack, and they clean it up. Jean gets it over. Gives a chance for Hines. Schlemmer. NYU keeping this relay going, and it's out. No, that stayed in. They say it stayed in. Might have touched. That was Hines. My eyes keep lying to me as this day goes on. It's going to be tough to keep that one in off the shank by Catherine Jackson. And NYU's won back-to-back points. It's now 20-8. Helena Ford doing the serving. Jackson on the reception. They set up Jean, and she gets the kill. Coming in hot for Helena Ford, and she could not handle it. Went screaming out of bounds. 21-8. Kate Jean on the serve. And an immediate service ace as that pass by Chloe Lemons went to nowhere. 22-8. Fourth service ace for the Tartans this set. Jean. Good reception this time, but she touched the net. Ava Lonsbach tried to set up a spike, but Carnegie Mellon fans are letting her hear about that one. 2 points away and ahead by 15. The Tartans handling their business early as a service error is committed by Kate Jean. Side out will give Jessica Spierenberg a chance. And she sends it over in the direction of Jackson. Sets up a back row attack and a block by NYU. Coco Barton with the rejection of that back row hit. NYU's won back-to-back, and it's 23-10. Spierenberg sets up the attack and the kill as it's Kai Herkenrother again. We've called her name plenty in this first set, and it's set point for the Tartans. Zoe Gavros trying to finish this off. The hit is blocked, and that's going to be the set. They try to set up Chloe Hines, but Jackson and McFarland were there to block it, and that will be set number one. A dominant set for the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, 25-10. And they're up 1-0 here in this final game of the UAA round robin. Scores from the other courts: Chicago ahead 22-16 in set number one on Case Western. As we have stated, if Chicago wins, they will clinch a share of the conference title. Same with Emory, who trails 17-14 in set two against 13th ranked Wash U. If Emory wins, they will clinch a share of the UAA title. If both Chicago and Emory lose, the title will be split 4 ways between UChicago, Emory, Wash U, and Case Western. Both of these teams could have been in that mix as well, but they both lost their first sets of the day, their first games of the day. Not the end of the road if you lose here, of course. In that first set, Carnegie Mellon had an almost unheard of 579 hitting percentage, 13 kills to just 2 attack errors. Meanwhile, NYU negative 136, 5 kills to 8 errors. So that was a complete set of volleyball from the Tartans. And NYU is going to have to do some soul searching in these 3 minutes to try to figure out how to turn this around, because that was dominance from Ann Buck's squad. The winner of this game will finish 5th in UAA play. That is guaranteed. Or at least 5th in UAA play. They could finish as high as 3rd, depending on the results of the other 2 games currently going on. Andrew Brown using every last second of this break time to run through some strategies with his team, which needs to turn it around fast. Neha Tomala will serve first for the Tartans, as it's all smiles on the Tartans sideline, and why not? There's not much to nitpick about a win that dominant. Tomala, service error. Good start for the Violets. Good read there by Duru Topchu to let that go and get the side out. NYU wins the first point. Now their turn in a service error of their own. Grace Nelson sends it too far and will do it over again. Kate Jean, see if she can put something in play. She can. Received by Nelson, sets up an attack from Spearenberg, but it's blocked there by Spearenberg, and NYU takes their second point. Good start for the Violets, getting another side out. Jessica Spearenberg and that elite blocking unit going to work. Spearenberg will serve here. That is another service error. Not what you like to see. 2 for 2. Could not get the ball across the net cleanly. Gavros to serve. Received by Nelson. And the attack is going to stay in. Chloe Lemons with the kill for NYU. NYU will sub in Felicia Wu from Overland Park, Kansas for the first time in this game. She'll serve. A block on the shot by Jackson. And a hit. A lot of action close to the net. Let's see if they can get it again. She can on the second try. Chloe Lemons. NYU by 2 for the first time today. Whatever Andrew Brown told his girls in that huddle, they've come out swinging, and especially blocking. Okay, get the clean reception. Back row attack is blocked. Juliana McFarland, the solo block for Carnegie Mellon, and 2 can play at that game, as Grace Nelson was rejected. Melissa Jin to serve for the Tartans, who are trailing 4-3 after a dominant win in set number 1. Keeps it in. Lemons the reception. Nelson the back row attack. And another block for NYU. The Tartans keep it alive, and The dig is made. On the other side, it's Lemons who keeps it alive. Back row, Nelson. They keep it going. What a volley we have on here. Another chance. That's a block for Carnegie Mellon. They keep it in, get it over. How long is this point going to take? Lemons with the kill to end it. And that can be a momentum swinger when you have that emphatic of a finish to a long volley. Chloe Lemons, junior from Tracy, California. We'll get to follow that up with a serve. Sends it in the direction of Jackson. Jackson attacks. And it's received well by Sato. Lemons, back row. Got another kill. Chloe Lemons, 2 in a row. And NYU's ahead by 3. See if she can keep this up. Shank pass. They keep it. No, it's 4 touches. After Jackson hits it, NYU looking sharp, looking to turn this around after losing the first one in blowout fashion. Lemons couldn't get it over the net. So 3 of the Tartans' 4 points have now come on service errors this set. NYU looking to clean up their act. In the meantime, Katherine Jackson will take a serve with the Tartans now down by 3. Here she comes. And Woodard has it received well. Nelson gets it past the blockers and gets a kill. Jackson sent it spiraling to the back of the gymnasium. No chance that any of her teammates could get that one. And it's now 8-4 in favor of the Violets. Caitlin Sato to serve. Service error. And that's now 4 of the Tartans' 5 points that have come on NYU service errors. Izzy Saffert to serve for Carnegie Mellon. Received by Lemons. Sets up the attack for Nelson. Dig out by Jin, and Woodard gets it over. 2 touches. Got to get this one over, and she can't. Another point for NYU as they have played very sound volleyball outside of the service line. If they can start getting these serves in more cleanly, this could turn into a margin just like what we saw from the Tartans in set 1. Ava Lonsbach to serve for the Violets. Receives cleanly. Sets up Woodard. Got the kill. Perfect placement within the basketball paint for Lonsbach. Neha Tomala to serve for the second time this set. Nelson, high into the air. Can they save this one? Looks like they're going to be able to as Jackson gets it back over the net. That'll set up Jean for a chance, and it goes flying over the club signs. An emphatic kill for Carnegie Mellon as they pull within 2. Tomala. Nelson receives. Over the net, attack chance. Jean blocked out of play. Blocking error by Sarah Latan, and the Tartans are within 1. Three points in a row for Carnegie Mellon. The reception by Topshoe. The attack by Nelson. Sets up a chance for Schlemmer. Going for the block. Can't get it, but handled well. Jean out. Attack error. Kate Jean. 10-8 your score in favor of NYU, who serves here. Nelson on the serve, the dig out, and Schlemmer spinning into the air. Lemons got the kill. NYU back ahead by 3. Grace Lemons. Sorry, Chloe Lemons. I'm confusing her with Grace Nelson. Apologies to both of them. Grace Nelson will be serving. Jean trying to sneak one in there, but Lemon's ready for it. Miscommunication, but Jean gets it over. Another chance for her. She keeps it in. Kate Jean with the kill for NYU. It's a 2-point game again. Jean will get a chance to serve. She attacked 3 times on that last point. Finally got the kill with number 3. And sends that to the wide side. Nelson on the attack by Sarah Latan. Schlemmer gets the kill. Just sneaks it in that far side, and the Tartans are back within 1. Kate Jean looking to draw even. Nelson. Latan. Can't get the dig. Nobody was home as Zoe Gavros was diving for it in front of Kate Jean. Gavros couldn't get clean hands on it. And the Violets back ahead by 2. Short stoppage in play before Jessica Spierenberg will take this serve. Jackson on the reception, and Herkenrother on the attack and the block. This time Schlemmer gets past the blocking. That's 2 touches. Now the third goes in the air for Saffert. Block. 2 touches, and now Saffert make that Lemons. Schlemmer setting up a back attack for Nelson. Another try for Schlemmer. Another long volley. Nelson way back, and it's snuck over there by Coco Barton. Setting another attack up, and that's a block. Blocked by Chloe Lemons. Coco Barton also in there. NYU pulls back ahead by 3. Timeout called on the NYU. No timeout. Spierenberg service error. It's now 5 in the set for NYU. Zoe Gavros to serve. The Tartans down by 2. A lot of unforced errors by NYU is why they aren't up by more right now. Nelson, back line, got the kill. Oops. 14-11 your score in favor of the Violets. Felicia Wu subbing in to come serve. Yep. She went to the sideline alongside Sarah Latan, but it will be Wu. 14-11 Violets after they lost set 1 by 15. Jackson, the dig. Setting up for Lemons. Schlemmer on the outside. She gets the kill as she puts the 2 blockers in a tough position. Lemons as well as Barton. And it goes right between them. Schlemmer will substitute out. McFarland coming back in. And the serve by Melissa Jin. Barton. Out. Service attack error for Barton. And it's now 14-13 with the Tartans still on the serve. Another chance to draw even. It's a short serve and a shank reception by Barton. Service ace Melissa Jin. And we are right back where we started at 14 here in the second set. Jin. They set up Lemons. Lemons gets it past the blockers. That's received by Jean. Aggressive attack by Jackson. And now Nelson with a chance for a back line. Jackson will try again. Hits it toward the libero Topchu. Woodard setting up a third attack, and that will go. Juliana McFarland. And for the first time this set, the Tartans have the lead. Melissa Jin in a good streak right now. Sends that short for another ace. Perfectly placed. Diving for it was the libero Topchu, but the Tartans now ahead by 2 and a timeout called on the court. 16-14, the Tartans lead. Here in the second set, they look to go up 2-0 when we come back. Out of the timeout, it is the Carnegie Mellon Tartans 16 and the NYU Violets 14. NYU led for the majority of the set, but now the Tartans have rattled off 5 straight points under the service of Melissa Jin, and they've taken the lead. Couple aces already for Jin in this stretch. Drops it into no man's land again, but that time Lemons is there to attack. Jackson off the block. Third touch coming back row. Nelson attack error. 6 in a row for Carnegie Mellon. Melissa Jin again drops it short. Nelson digs. And Lemons attacks and keeps it in. Stops the bleeding for NYU. Chloe Lemons with the kill and gets the side out finally. See if the Violets can start picking up some steam. Alden Roberts from Norfolk, Virginia into the game. She'll give way to Lemons for this serve. And another service error. Seen far too many of those in this set from the Violets if they want to try and contend. That's now 6 in the set. Jackson serves it and receives it. And John met there by Lemons. Nelson blocked. Keeps it in. Attack chance for Carnegie Mellon. It was McFarland, and now the volley staying alive, but it goes into the net, and NYU gets the point. Right in front of Zoe Gavros. Keeping this one close, 18-16. Tartans are leading. Off the side out, it's the NYU serve. Service error. Number 7 of the set for the Violets. This is getting ugly. The Violets did not have any service errors in the first set, but now 7 of the Tartans' 19 points have come off of those. Nelson the reception. Back line, Lemons. And handled improperly by Duru Topchu, and it's a 4-point Carnegie Mellon lead here in set number 2. Timeout on the court. The Tartans on the verge of going up 2-0. They look to finish 4-3. Should they win, they'll have won 10 of their last 12. Scores from around the courts. UChicago ahead 1-0 on Case Western. The two teams are tied at 18 in set 2. Emory ahead 2-0 on Wash U. Wash U is ahead 8-5 in the third set of that one. So Emory just needs one more set win to clinch a share of the UAA title. Should Chicago win, the two of them will share it. Should only one win, that school will win it outright. 20-16 your score here in the auxiliary gym of the Ratner Athletic Center. Carnegie Mellon leading in the set, leading in the match. Looking to go up 2-0. And they'll start with a serve from Safford. Attack coming. Handled nicely by Melissa Jin. Woodard. Going up for it is Jean, who gets the block. Stays on the NYU side. The dig by Jean. Woodard attacks. Woodard gets the kill. Impressive poise from the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, handling what was thrown at them. And they're now 4 points away from a 2-0 set lead. Izzy Safford on the serve. Nelson from the back line in the kill. NYU now behind by 4. Ava Lonsbach will serve. NYU looking for a run right about now to get back in this set. That's a good start. Service ace, Ava Lonsbach. 3-point set. Timeout on the court as it's now 21-18 in favor of the Carnegie Mellon Tartans. The Violets will have the serve when we come back off this timeout. Out of the timeout, NYU down by 3. Looking to avoid a 2-0 deficit in the match. Ava Lonsbach off a service ace last point. How will she follow this up? Looking to avoid yet another service error. She does, and sets up not a spike, so NYU will have an attack chance as Nelson gets the kill. Grace Nelson places it perfectly and moves it to within 2. (21-19). Lonsbach. Another tough time handling it. Nelson right on the spot, and it's a 1-point set. Grace Nelson's been everywhere, and they have had a really tough time handling the serves of Ava Lonsbach. Jackson receives, and nobody's home, and we're tied. Unreal. Another timeout, and why not? We are tied up as Carnegie Mellon can't seem to get out of their own way. 21 all here in set number 2. Ava Lonsbach, 2 service aces in this series as the Violets have clawed back from down 5. They've gotten 5 consecutive points and have tied this set. They've cleaned up the service errors too. Haven't seen one of those since that deficit. NYU with 7 service errors in this set. Part of the reason why they aren't just winning this outright. Over on court 1, U Chicago has taken the second set from Case Western, and they are now just one set win away from a share of the UAA conference title. Exciting stuff happening here at the UAA round robin. 21 all. 5 consecutive points won by the NYU Violets. Ava Lonsbach to serve. Jackson on the reception. Here comes Woodard with the kill for Carnegie Mellon. 22-21. Bella Woodard strikes. Huge side out for the Tartans. Neha Tomata will serve for the Tartans, who lead by 1. And that's mishandled. Nelson and Lemons did not communicate. It'll result in a service ace for Tomata. Nelson and Lemons both tried to go for that ball. The Tartans 2. This time Nelson gets her. Set point for the Tartans. Neha Tomata looking to close the door on this set. A couple substitutions coming in for this decisive set point. 24-21, Tartans in front. Here she comes. Top 2 the reception. Nelson's going to get it over. No spike, though. Here's your chance. The attack. Jean can't get the kill. Nelson. Off the hands. It'll be saved. Carnegie Mellon will have a chance. No spike. Nelson again. Sneaks it in and gets the kill. Extends the set. Grace Nelson on the money with it. She'll serve. NYU needs 2 to make this not be a set point anymore. Nelson, here she comes. Received by Jackson. Coming in for the kill, it's blocked. Second touch, sets up Lemons. It's blocked but out of play, and it's a 1-point set. It's still set point for the Tartans, but there's no more room for error. Grace Nelson. On the serve. Jackson receives. Sets up Jean. Blocked. And they can't save it. They can't save it as it was off of Caitlin Sato. And Carnegie Mellon survives to take a 2-0 set lead. Exciting set here at the Rat. But Carnegie Mellon comes out on top, and they have won the first 2 here at the UAA round robin. Back at the Ratner Athletic Center, Carnegie Mellon, a much closer set than the first one, but the Tartans still take it by a score of 25-23. They're now ahead 2-0. The winner of this will be guaranteed at least 5th place in the UAA. The loser cannot finish any higher than 6th. NYU needs a reverse sweep to take home this match. The Violets will start the set with the serve. It's Ava Lonsbach, who had some success late in set number 2. Got a couple of service aces for the Violets. See how she approaches this. And there it is, right there, as it was a miscommunication between Jackson and Schlemmer, and right away a service ace for Ava Lonsbach. NYU looking to claw their way back into this match. Jackson on the reception. Sets up Jean, and she gets the kill. Very high velocity, and all Sato could do was reach her arms out and try to send it somewhere, and there were no teammates at that somewhere. First attack of the set for NYU. Responds with Schlemmer, and Schlemmer has the kill. Tomala doing the serving right now. Sends it across. Nelson handles, attacks, gets it over the net. 2 touches already, and it hits the floor. That was initially counted on the scoreboard as a point for Carnegie Mellon. That is not right. It is 2-2. Grace Nelson. Dug out there. Chance for an attack by Schlemmer. And Latan, that finishes with a kill. 3-2, Violets. Nelson spin the ball in her hands, and here she comes. Met there by Davros, and attacking, and it's off of Nelson, and ends up a kill. That was Schlemmer, who ties us up at 3. The Tartans ahead, 2-0. Tied 3-3. They look for a sweep. Lemons up top. And Latan. The extra attack by Jessica Spierenberg results in a point for NYU. Set up there by Latan after she got it to end up back on NYU's side after the first touch. Spierenberg will serve. Popped high up, and the attack by Jackson goes over the head of both blockers. It ends up a kill for Katherine Jackson. Zoe Gavros will serve. We're tied at 4 in the third set. Lemons will attack. Schlemmer, handled there by Topchi. And a kill. NYU back ahead 5-4. Topchi, a good job there. She'll hit the bench now. And that sets up Felicia Wu for her first serve of set 3. Schlemmer lobs one up. Nice positioning. Nelson gets to it. And a chance for a revenge attack, but it's blocked by Juliana McFarland. We're tied once again at 5. Another side out. Couple subs on for Carnegie Mellon, including the next server, Melissa Jin, who had some very good success serving late in set 2. That's a service error, though. Don't want to do that. Chloe Lemons with a chance to serve now, with the Violets ahead 6-5. That was not a great reception, but it's handled and then blocked. That ended up a point for Carnegie Mellon. The kill goes to Katherine Jackson. Little worried there after the first touch by Kate Jean that wouldn't end up well, but the Tartans managed to save it. Jackson to serve now. Gets it just over. And an attack from the back line for Lemons. And a block, but it's staying alive. Try the other side. And another block! Grace Nelson. Fast on the spot. Rejects Bella Woodard. and makes it 7-6 NYU. Spierenberg will enter for the Violets. Coco Barton to serve. Gets it over. And that's in. That is a kill for Carnegie Mellon. Keep flip-flopping the serve back and forth. It's 7-7. Couldn't see who did that one, I can't lie. Izzy Safford to serve for the Tartans. We're tied at 7. Just barely gets it over. Nelson to attack. Looking to block, but it goes to the back line instead. Here she comes. Casey Cho has checked in. One of the blockers there on that last relay. Backline attack, Lemons goes spinning in the air. And Cho gets her hand on that. Maybe not positively, as it'll end up a blocking error and a point for Carnegie Mellon. Casey Cho, freshman from Yorba Linda, California. Head coach Andrew Brown just going to try different things with his team down 2-0. Attack by Spierenberg stays in. We're tied up at 8. Couple subs coming on. Sarah Latan, Ava Lonsbach. As Lonsbach has taken the most serves in this one. Tied up at 8. See if Lonsbach can get another service ace like she's been doing. Already 3 of them so far this game. Drops one in. Jackson receives. And it's a block. Grace Nelson denies Woodard. And NYU retakes the lead. Lonsbach looking to keep it up. We have not seen a gap of more than 2 in this set. Low dig as here comes Jean. Nice dig out there by Latu. Block off of Nelson. Final touch, it'll be Jean again. Sato. Backline Lemons. Turns it around. Long volley here. Latan can't keep it in, and we're tied at 9. Attack error by Latan. Carnegie Mellon ahead 2-0. Over on court 2, Wash U has taken set 3 off of Emory. Emory still leads that 2-1. Here comes Nelson. Gets it past the blockers. Jean. First touch. Nelson. Tries to sneak it in and can. Grace Nelson. Nelson serving. Violets 10, Tartans 9. Been a very back and forth set so far. Service error, Grace Nelson. Tied back up at 10, and first service error of the set for NYU after they committed 7 last set. That ultimately doomed their chances of taking it. Second touch. Here comes Schlemmer, but it's blocked. Jessica Spierenberg had the block for NYU there, and it's 11-10. Spierenberg will serve. Still haven't seen a lead of more than 2 in this set. Gavros was on the reception. Latan has the kill for NYU, and they're ahead by 2. Jessica Spierenberg. Gavros with the reception. And Jackson with the attack. And the miscommunication. Nelson and Spierenberg both converged on that ball, and they both tried to hit it, and it went out to the side, leading to the kill for Jackson. Gavros gets it over, and a hard put on it by Coco Barton. Schlemmer gets the kill. We're tied at 12. What a close set this is, with Carnegie Mellon ahead on the sets, 2-0, but they've played pretty much even since that dominant first set by the Tartans. Nelson sets up Barton. Second touch, and here's Jackson. Top two. And an attack error. Haven't seen many of those. But Carnegie Mellon's now taken 3 straight points and the lead. Gavros setting up Barton, but it's blocked there by McFarland. Jackson has it go wide. And they're going to give that to Carnegie Mellon, actually. They'll say that went off the blocker and then went wide, and so the Tartans now ahead by 2. They've taken 4 straight points and a timeout on the field. 14-12 your score in set number 3. Back in the auxiliary gym, court number 3 at the UAA round robin. Carnegie Mellon looking to finish off a clean sweep of NYU. They've taken 4 straight points, and they just took number 5. Juliana McFarland with the quick kill, and it's 15-12. Refs holding up play because the scoreboard got reset to all zeros for some reason. Now the points are being put back on. It's 15-12 in favor of the Tartans. Just 10 points away from a clean 3-0 sweep. And a final conference record of 4-3. Zoe Gavros to serve. Here's Latan, but it's eaten and then killed by Katherine Jackson. 6 in a row for Carnegie Mellon. Gavros has been serving this for a while now. Another try for Latan. It's blocked by McFarland. This time Lemons. McFarland blocks that one too. Backline try. That's an attack error for Helena Ford, and it's 7 consecutive points for Carnegie Mellon. Another timeout. Applause being given to McFarland. Her effort on that play was unmatched with 2 blocks consecutively on both sides. Over on court 1, Case Western has won set 3 against U Chicago, so that's going to a set 4 as well. Both Emory and U Chicago have 1 loss in conference. Both ahead 2-1 right now of their 2 conference loss opponents in set number 4. On this court, Carnegie Mellon ahead of NYU 2-0. And 8 points away from a clean sweep. It's been 7 consecutive points won by the Carnegie Mellon Tartans. Zoe Gavros continuing to serve. Try it this time. Lemons received well by Jean. Now Schlemmer. They'll be able to get this back over, but no spike. Jackson off the head of Topchu for another kill. 8 consecutive points for Carnegie Mellon. Topchu receives. And Lemons, but dug out by Jean. McFarland gets it back over. Lemons another attack. Blocked! McFarland again. 9 in a row. Juliana McFarland, the senior from McLean, Virginia, putting on a clinic in the blocking game right now. Barton on the attack, received well by Gavros, who sends it back over. Barton, make that Lemons, drops it in, and the streak is finally broken. Little trickery by Chloe Lemons. And she finally gets the side out after 9 consecutive Carnegie Mellon points. Schlemmer. That's out. Felicia Wu is on the serve for NYU. Gavros receives. Jackson attacks, but it's blocked. Ava Lonsbach on that block. The top blocking team in the UAA rears their head, and it's a 4-point set. Timeout called by Carnegie Mellon, with their lead down to 4 after they won 9 in a row. Out of the timeout, Carnegie Mellon 19, NYU 15. Carnegie Mellon's won the first 2 sets and are 6 points away from putting it to bed. Felicia Wu trying to get the block by Barton. Schlemmer gets it over. Whistle blows, point to NYU. Looks like McFarland may have touched the net. 3-point set. It's 4 in a row for the Violets. Wu gets it over. Jackson on the attack. It's blocked there by Barton. They'll set up a hit for Lemons. Blocked out of play by Schlemmer. 5 straight points for NYU after they gave up 9 in a row. 2-point set, 19-17. Wu had the serve, and it's a attack error for McFarland, and now it's 6 in a row. What are we seeing here in this match? This is getting wild. For the first part of this set, nobody was leading by more than 2. And then it was 12-10, and Carnegie Mellon rattled off 9 consecutive points. And they've now given up 6 in a row immediately after that. 19-18 on this timeout. NYU needs to win to force a set 4. These have been some entertaining games we have seen on this court tonight, this afternoon. Forgetting how many points are in set 5 notwithstanding, Brandeis and Rochester played some great volleyball. Battled to 5 sets. Very close all the way around, and now, after we thought that Carnegie Mellon might just run away with it with a dominant set 1, NYU has shown their resolve. Battled blow for blow, but can they actually bring this back from down 7? Wu to serve. Jackson gets the kill. Badly needed for the Tartans. Catherine Jackson puts Carnegie Mellon back ahead by 2. Melissa Jin will serve. See if another run is in the cards in this third set. Lemons the reception. She'll just bump it over and set up another block. Stays on NYU's side. Here's the third touch. No one knows who's going to get it. Oh, that's a big mistake in crunch time by Lemons and Topchew. 3-point lead for the Tartans. 4 more to win the match. Lemons the reception. Attack from the back line is going to sail. Helena Ford on the attack error, and it's now 3 straight for Carnegie Mellon. They're 3 points away. Ford receives. Attack by Barton, quick kill. NYU stays alive. Coco Barton. Chloe Lemons will serve. NYU wants another run in the worst way. Needs it almost. Lemons. Jackson to attack. Dug out by the libero. Nelson can't sneak it in. Jackson again. Huge, and that hits the ceiling. And it's a point for Carnegie Mellon. That hit off the ceiling of the gym. That was how much force that Catherine Jackson launched that one with. The Tartans 2 points away. Sends it at Nelson. Here comes an attack, and it's a kill for NYU's Casey Cho. 3 points is now the gap. Coco Barton to serve. Here she comes. Jay keeps it in. Kate John, makes it set point and a match point for Carnegie Mellon. Trying to finish it off. Izzy Safford to serve. Up high. Blocked, and that's the game! Huge block by Kai Herkenrother, and Carnegie Mellon sweeps aside the NYU Violets in 3 sets with a huge block to end it. The Tartans dominant in set number 1, and then 2 nail biters in sets 2 and 3, but they get it done. Carnegie Mellon finishes their UAA slate 4-3, 20-7 overall, as they head to their final few matches before the NCAA tournament and the UAA tournament. NYU falls to 3-4 in conference play, 14-10 overall. Thank you for watching the UAA Round Robin. This has been the Court 3 feed. Other 2 matches are still going if you want to enjoy some more UAA volleyball, but this has been the UAA Round Robin on Flow Sports.